Next, pick up stitches along both armholes and crochet in rounds for the sleeves. The sleeves come in two types, short sleeves and long sleeves. Regardless of the type, they are all divided into section 1, section 2, and a drawstring. Section 1 of the short sleeves has fewer rounds. Section 1 of the long sleeves has more rounds. The rest of the positions are identical. Additionally, the left and right sleeves is also identical. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. I will continue using this sample to demonstrate. The row numbers for section 2 of the chest and back pieces in the sample are fewer. Taking the right sleeve as an example, start with the first round. Locate the position where the front and back pieces are sewn together. Pick up a few threads to join the yarn. Then make 3 chains. On the back piece, which is the edge gap between these two rows on the left side, crochet 1 group in each. Then skip 1 row. And in the edge gap of the top row of section 1, crochet another group. After completing, move on to section 2 of the back piece. In the adjacent gap of the row on the left side, crochet 1 group. For this section, continue crocheting groups in the edge gaps. But not every row will have a corresponding group. Refer to the chart for specifics. The method in the small sample is not to be followed here. After completing, at the joining point, pick up a few threads and crochet 1 group. When you reach the chest piece, refer to the chart specifically and crochet groups in the edge gaps. After completing the chest piece, for this small section of the front piece, pick up a few threads and crochet 1 group. After completing, Skip one row of double crochets and crochet one group in each of the remaining 2 rows. After completing, above the turning chain, make 1 slip stitch to join. Note that this slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch. You need to pull it tight. Pay attention. An oval solid dot indicates that the slip stitch should not be pulled tight. A circular solid dot indicates that the slip stitch should be pulled tight. After completing, you can check the number of groups. This way, the first round is done. Pay attention. The method for the first round of the left sleeve is mostly the same as the right sleeve, and ensure the number of groups matches the right sleeve. For the following rounds in section 1, the crochet method remains the same for each round. That is, start with 3 chains. Then crochet groups correspondingly. After completing the round, slip stitch into the beginning chain. Pull tight. Follow this method to continue crocheting the remaining rounds in section 1. If you need to adjust the length of the sleeve, you can appropriately increase or decrease the number of rounds in section 1. The small sample has fewer rounds. After completing, fasten off the yarn normally. That's it for section 1. Now continue with the first round of section 2. First, above the beginning chain, which is where you insert your hook for the slip stitch, join the yarn. And make 3 chains. Then, on the left double crochet, work 1 double crochet. In the chain space, work 1 double crochet. On the left side double crochet, work another double crochet. That is, not counting the beginning chain, we have worked 3 double crochets in this group below. Continue on the left double crochet. Work 1 more double crochet. In the chain space, work 1 double crochet. Do not work into this double crochet. That is, on this group, only 2 double crochets are worked. Continue to alternate on these groups, working 3 double crochets. And 2 double crochets. Everyone follow this method. Continue crocheting. Pay attention. Since the total number of stitches in this round needs to be a multiple of 4, therefore, at the end of each size, you need to adjust the method according to the chart. After completing the last group, slip stitch into the beginning chain. This way, the first round is completed. Move on to round 2. This round starts with 3 chains. Then 1 more chain. Next, in the second stitch from the left, make a double crochet, followed by 1 chain. For the rest of this round, alternate between double crochets and chains. Each double crochet skips 1 stitch. After completing the last double crochet, make 1 chain. Then, at the top of the beginning chain, which is the 3rd chain, join with a slip stitch. The second round is complete. Continue with the 3rd and 4th rounds. The small sample is now completed. For the 3rd round, in each chain space from the 2nd round, and on each double crochet, make 1 double crochet. For the 4th round, in each stitch, make 1 double crochet. Continue to complete these 2 rounds. Then, fasten off the yarn normally and weave in the ends. For this small sample, we will leave the yarn tails visible. Now, that concludes the second section of the sleeve. Next, we'll learn how to make a drawstring. The drawstring includes the cord and flowers. First, crochet the cord and 2 flowers. Then, thread the cord through the second round of the sleeve's second section. Then sew the flowers together. At the same time, secure both ends of the cord. Finally, sew a bead in the center of each. The new stitch used is treble crochet. Now, please watch me demonstrate. First, we'll crochet the cord. The cord needs to be worked using 2 yarn tails simultaneously. Take the skein of the same color yarn used for the second section of the sleeve. Take 1 yarn tail from the center and 1 from the outside. Then use either yarn tail to make a slip knot. Slightly tighten the loop. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Insert the hook into the loop. Adjust slightly. The loop should not be too tight, nor too loose. Next, take the other yarn tail and hook it from front to back onto the hook. Yarn over and draw through both loops at once. Continue by hooking the yarn from front to back again. Yarn over and pull through all loops at once. Repeat this process to continue crocheting. until you reach the desired length. The length of the small sample here is not for reference. After completing, cut the yarn. This way, the cord is finished. Next, move on to crocheting the flower. The flower starts with a magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your left index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger. Pinch where the loops overlap. Take it out. Then hang the yarn on your left hand. Transfer the loop to between your left thumb and middle finger. Take out the hook. Insert it into the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Make 1 chain to secure. Note: the loop on the hook shouldn't be too tight. Otherwise, it will be hard to crochet later. Like this, the magic ring is completed. Begin crocheting. Make 1 chain. Then, in the magic ring, work 1 single crochet. Two chains. Then work 1 double crochet. Next, work 1 treble crochet, which means yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops left. Continue to yarn over. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops left. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops at once. The treble crochet is completed. Continue with 1 double crochet. 2 chains. For convenience in explaining, we will consider 1 single crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet, 1 treble crochet, 1 double crochet and 2 chains as 1 petal. Continue with the second petal. 1 single crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet, 1 treble crochet, that is, yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over on after another. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Treble crochet is complete. Work 1 more double crochet. 2 chains. The second petal is done. Repeat this process. Work 3 more petals. When the stitch count is large, you can move to the right a bit before working. After completing the last petal, stretch the loop to prevent slipping. Then close the magic ring. Move the completed section slightly to the right. There are 2 loops here. Gently pull the starting tail first. Be careful not to pinch the inner loops. At this point, 1 loop is still movable. Tighten this movable loop. One loop remains. Directly pull tight the yarn tail. This way, the loop is closed. Then slip stitch. In the first single crochet, and leave a tail of about 30 centimeters. Fasten off normally. Like this, 1 flower is completed. Follow the same method. Crochet 1 more flower. Pay attention, the second flower does not need to leave a long yarn tail at the end. After crocheting the cord and the flower, thread the cord through the chain spaces. In the second round of the sleeves section 2, press the sleeve flat like this. Roughly locate 1 hole at the top. Thread the cord through each hole like this sequentially. After threading, hold both ends together and secure them simply with the yarn tail. Trim any excess tails slightly. Next, thread the long yarn tail of the flower onto a darning needle. Overlap the 2 flowers. And place the side with clearer texture on the outside. Use the sewing needle to pick up the adjacent half stitches of the flowers. And sew them together. When there are 2 petals left, place all the yarn tails inside the flower. And also put the connection point of the cord inside the flower. Then continue sewing. When you sew to the cord position, sew a few stitches to secure it within the flower as well. You can actually sew a few more stitches for better securing. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Lastly, on both sides of the flower, sew on a bead respectively. First thread the sewing thread through the needle. Weave in the yarn and tie off. The bead is a large bead from the bead edge. You can sew it multiple times to make sure it's sewn securely. After sewing, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. This way, the drawstring is covered. Everyone can refer to the previous demonstration and continue to complete the left sleeve. Next, we will learn the dress hem. The crocheting method for the dress hem is the same for different sizes, only the number of stitches and rounds vary. The hem is worked underneath the front and back pieces, crocheted in rounds. It is divided into the main part and the edging. The main part requires increasing stitches in some rounds, while other rounds are worked evenly. Finally, crochet 1 round of edging. The new stitches used include front post double crochet, DC 2 in 1 and DC 8 in 1. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. I will continue demonstrating with this small sample. First, locate any seam on one side, with the right side facing out. Insert the hook under a few threads of the seam to join the yarn. Then make 3 chains. Next, on the 2 chains to the left. Separately, pick up 2 threads like these, and work a double crochet. That is, insert into the insertion point of this double crochet. Weave the yarn tail as you crochet. After completing, make 1 chain. And continue on the adjacent chain to the left. Work another double crochet. Then on the 3rd chain from the left. First work 4 double crochets. Two chains. In the same position, work 4 more double crochets. For convenience in explaining, we will consider 4 double crochets, 2 chains, and 4 double crochets as a shell stitch. Continue with another shell stitch. Note: if working the 2 smallest sizes, you need to skip 3 chains. If working the other 3 sizes, you need to skip 2 chains. Work the next shell stitch in the adjacent chain on the left side, which is this insertion point. Don't miss this part. Here, the sample skips 2 chains. Work the next shell stitch. Which means at this insertion point, work 4 double crochets, 2 chains, and 4 double crochets. Another shell stitch is completed. Continue in the third chain from the left. Working 1 double crochet. And 1 chain. Start from the adjacent chain on the left side. Work 5 double crochets correspondingly. And 1 chain. On the adjacent chain on the left side, work another double crochet. For the sake of easy explanation, not counting the first few stitches, we will consider these 2 shell stitches, 7 double crochets, and 2 chains as one group. Continue with the next group, which means starting with a shell stitch. On the third stitch from the left, after completing, if working the 2 smallest sizes, skip 3 stitches and work the next shell stitch. For other sizes, skip 2 stitches before working the next shell stitch. For the sample, continue to skip 2 stitches and work the next shell stitch. After completing, skip 2 stitches, work 1 double crochet, one chain. Then continue from the adjacent chain on the left. Work 5 double crochets. One chain. And work 1 more double crochet into the adjacent chain on the left. Another group is now completed. Next, follow the demonstration here and continue crocheting these groups. When you encounter a seam, if you need to skip, treat the seam as 1 stitch and skip it. That is, treat these 2 stitches at the seam as 1 stitch. If you need to crochet the corresponding stitch, simply insert into a few threads of the seam and crochet. Continue crocheting until the third to last group. Now, the sample has been crocheted up to the third to last group. Since the stitch count cannot be perfectly divided, the last 2 groups need to be adjusted appropriately. Adjust the interval between stitches, that is, in the remaining positions. Crochet the last 2 groups as evenly as possible. Note: pay attention to the first few stitches you crochet, include them in the last group. Before working, you can count the remaining total stitches first. If there are too many remaining stitches, increase the interval between stitches as needed while crocheting. If there are not enough stitches, decrease the interval between stitches as needed while crocheting. Everyone, follow this method to crochet the remaining groups as evenly as possible. After completing, slip stitch into the beginning chain. This way, we have completed the first round. I will continue to demonstrate the second round using this small sample. Start with 3 chains. In the adjacent stitch on the left, work a double crochet. After completing, work a front post double crochet on the left. We'll refer to this as the FPDC from now on. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the gap on the right side of this double crochet and come out through the gap on the left side. Essentially, pick up the entire double crochet Draw the yarn through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this one more time. The FPDC is now completed. You can see that the FPDC is the same as for a double crochet, only the insertion point differs. Next, work 1 chain. On the left side of the double crochet, work 1 double crochet. For the rest of this round, whenever you encounter a shell stitch, start by working 2 chains. Into this shell stitch space, work 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and 1 single crochet. Then work 2 more chains. On the first double crochet of this shell stitch on the left, work 1 half double crochet. Two chains. And in this space, work 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. Then work 2 more chains. Every time you reach a double crochet and chain position, you need to first work 1 double crochet and 1 chain. On the left double crochet, then work 1 FPDC. Around the left double crochet, which means inserting the hook as shown here. The crocheting method is the same as for the double crochet. After completing, work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches on the left side. Note, you need to skip the double crochet that follows the FPDC. After finishing, work 1 FPDC around this double crochet. And then 1 chain. Work 1 more double crochet into this edge double crochet. Next, refer to the demonstration here and continue crocheting. Note: each time you need to work FPDC around these 2 double crochets. After completing the last 2 shell stitches, work 1 double crochet into this double crochet on the left. 1 chain. Then on this double crochet on the left, work 1 FPDC. On the last stitch, work 1 double crochet. Then join with a slip stitch. This way, we have completed the second round. Continue to the third round. Make 3 chains. Then on the adjacent stitch on the left side, work 1 double crochet. After completing, you need to increase on the left side. That is, first work 1 double crochet in this stitch. Then, pick up this FPDC and work 1 more FPDC. This is equivalent to increase 1 stitch. Make 1 chain. Then on the left side of the double crochet, work 1 double crochet. When you reach the position for the shell stitch below, start with 1 chain. Then in the space between these 2 groups of single crochets on the left side, work 1 shell stitch respectively. After completing, make 1 more chain. For this section, where you have double crochets, chains, and FPDC, start by working 1 double crochet into this double crochet. Then make 1 chain. And on this FPDC, work 1 FPDC. On the stitch on the left side, work 1 DC 2 in 1, which means increasing in this stitch. At the same time, work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. The DC 2 in 1 is completed, meaning you've increased 1 stitch. On the next 2 stitches on the left, work 1 double crochet into each stitch. After completing, you'll reach the position of the FPDC. Start by working 1 double crochet into this stitch. Then, work 1 FPDC into this FPDC. Continue with 1 chain. In this double crochet, work 1 double crochet. For the rest of this round, every time you reach the position below where there is a shell stitch, start with 1 chain. Then, in these 2 chain spaces, work 1 shell stitch into each space. Work one more chain. Every time you reach this section, you need to increase by 2 stitches. First, complete the FPDC normally. Then work 1 DC 2 in 1, that is, in the stitch to the left of this FPDC. Work 2 double crochets at the same time. This is equivalent to increasing 1 stitch, then work even for 2 double crochets. After completing, at this FPDC, do the same as before. First, pick up the stitch and work 1 double crochet. Then, pick up the FPDC and work 1 FPDC. This is equivalent to increasing 1 stitch again. Continue by working 1 chain and 1 double crochet in sequence. Everyone follow this method to complete this round. Pay attention. Here you should work a DC 2 in 1 at the end. That's it. We have finished the 3rd round. Continue with the 4th to 8th rounds. Some rounds are omitted in the sample for this section. These rounds involve working double crochets when you encounter double crochets, chains when you encounter chains, and FPDC when you encounter FPDC for the shell stitch section. In the 4th round, the 6th and 8th rounds follow the same method as the 2nd round. That is, in the space of the shell stitch, you will work 2 single crochets, then chain 2. And on the first double crochet of the 2nd shell stitch, work 1 half double crochet, with 2 chains worked on each side. On both sides of this entire section, you also work 2 chains respectively. The 5th and 7th rounds follow the method that is identical to the 3rd round. That is, in the space between these 2 single crochets, you work 1 shell stitch respectively. On both sides of this entire section, you work 1 chain respectively. Next, please refer to the previous demonstrations. Complete rounds 4 through 8. After finishing the first 8 rounds, for the main part, you will alternately work 1 round with shell stitches and 1 round without shell stitches. For ease of explanation, we refer to round 3 as the increase round, while rounds 4 through 8 are even rounds. Continue alternating 1 increase round and 5 even rounds. Continue until you have completed the corresponding rounds in the chart. Then, working several rounds evenly, the final section of even rounds can be adjusted according to your needs. Refer to the previous demonstration and explanation, and finish the remaining rounds of the main part. Do not cut the yarn after completing it. This way, we have covered the main part of the dress. After completing the main part, continue to crochet the edging. Note that, for different sizes, the method of starting the edging varies. I will continue explaining using this small sample. For the 2 largest sizes, start by making 1 chain. Then, in the same position, where you just made a slip stitch, crochet 1 single crochet. Next, in the 3rd stitch from the left, make 1 DC 8 in 1, that is, make 8 double crochets in the same stitch. after completing. For the 3 smaller sizes, start by making 1 slip stitch in each of the first 2 stitches on the left side. Then, make 1 chain, and in the adjacent stitch on the left side, work 1 single crochet. Then in the 3rd stitch from the left, make 1 DC 8-in-1. Regardless of the size, for each subsequent row above this section of shell stitch. Pick up the chain space between single crochets and make 8 double crochets respectively. For this section of double crochets, chains and FPDC, alternate crocheting single crochet and DC 8-in-1, the interval between different sizes may have different numbers of stitches. Refer to the chart for specifics. For rows that begin with a slip stitch, the last DC 8-in-1 should be crocheted at the insertion point, right above the beginning chain slip stitch. Regardless of the size, after completing the last DC 8-in-1, work on the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch, and fasten off the yarn. All yarn tails should be woven along the texture, and woven on the wrong side. This way, we have completed the hem. Next, let's learn how to sew the waistband. The waistband consists of 1 horizontal strip, and 2 identical vertical strips. One end of the horizontal strip is the buckle, and the other end is a purl button. One end of the vertical strip looks like this, with wrinkled pearls and other decorations. The other end is sewn onto the horizontal strip. Now, everyone can watch me demonstrate first, and then you can try it yourselves. First, we sew the horizontal strip. Cut a piece of ribbon like this, trimming both ends roughly even. Pay attention, the length of the ribbon is the same as the circumference of the chest, plus about 4 centimeters. You can also adjust the length according to your needs, making it longer or slightly shorter. The sample is shorter, but the main focus is on explaining the method. Then, use a piece of thread that matches the color of the ribbon to crochet the remaining part. Pull out 2-3 strands and thread them through a sewing needle. And tie a knot at the end of the thread. This will be used for sewing the waist belt. Then, take out a lace trim like this. Cut a piece of it to use as a buckle strap, and set it aside. Next, burn the edges of the ribbon on both sides. Pay attention to safety. The smoother side of the ribbon is the right side. The rougher side is the wrong side. Place one end of the ribbon with the wrong side facing you. Fold it like this. Align the edges. Fold it down one more time. Align the bottom edges. Insert the sewing needle inside. Draw through from this top end. Then place the bottom of the buckle strap in it. You can try with a pearl button. Ensure it fits perfectly. Sew a few more stitches to secure it in place. Once secured, sew together this diagonal edge. You can alternately insert from both folding points. Follow this method to complete this section. When done, tie off to secure. Don't cut the yarn. Carry the yarn to approximately the middle of the bottom. Sew these 3 layers together to secure. When done, tie a knot and cut the thread. This way, the strap on one end of the band is sewn up. Next, sew pearl buttons on the other end. Similarly, fold first. Then sew the button at the top. After completing, refer to the previous steps to sew and secure the remaining part. After sewing, you can iron both ends flat. Next, sew one of the vertical strips. First, cut a piece of ribbon and cinch the edges. The sample is shorter. Refer to the chart for actual length. You can also adjust according to the remaining ribbon. Ensure that when the belt is tied, the bottom end does not extend past the hem of the dress. After cutting, refer to the demonstration for the horizontal strip and sew a crinkle purl on one end. Once done, take out two such metal pieces. The side that is convex and smooth is the right side. Place the ribbon between the two pieces. And overlap the two pieces. With the right sides facing out, position them roughly centered. This part should slightly overlap with the folded triangle. Then sew around the edge to attach both pieces to the ribbon simultaneously. After sewing, tie a knot and cut the thread on the wrong side of the ribbon. Next, take two red acrylic rhinestones and sew them both onto the approximate middle of the metal piece. You can actually sew a few extra stitches to ensure they are securely attached. This way, one end of the strip is sewn. Next, sew the other end. First, fold this section to a quarter size position. Leave about 3 more centimeters. Then, reserve a bit and sew a few stitches to secure it. After sewing, don't cut the yarn. Take the horizontal strip and at roughly 1/3 of its length, sew on the vertical strip. The exact position can also be adjusted according to your needs. That is, fold this part forward a bit more. Place the horizontal strip in the middle. Note that both sides should be right side facing. Sew it with a slight space from this edge. And make sure not to sew through the topmost layer. Place the tail on the wrong side. After sewing, lightly press the folding point to set its shape. After sewing one vertical strip, follow the same method to sew another vertical strip. The positions of the two strips should be roughly symmetrical. Once the belt is sewn, thread it through the waistband. And fasten the buttons. Up to this point, we have covered the belt. Next, we will learn the bag. The bag consists of 2 identical pieces. 1 patch, bead edging, a drawstring, and a strap. First, complete the 2 pieces. Sew the patch onto one of the pieces. Then sew the 2 pieces together while attaching the bead edging. Finally, crochet and secure the drawstring and strap. The new stitch is SC 2-in-1. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. Let's start learning a single piece. First, make the corresponding number of chains. The small sample is already started, with a smaller number of stitches. Then work the first round. Make 1 chain. Start from the second chain from the hook. Pick up the top loop. Work single crochets into each stitch. Continue all the way until 1 chain remains. After completing, on the top chain, crochet 3 single crochets. Then, from the adjacent chain on the left side, pick up the remaining 2 strands. That is, this single crochet at the same insertion point. Work single crochets into each stitch. Pay attention. Do not crochet in the same insertion point as these 3 single crochets. Continue all the way until you reach the insertion point of the first single crochet. After completing, check the stitch count. This way, that concludes the first round. We will consider the side facing us, which is the side with clearer texture of the first round, as the right side. The other side will be the wrong side. Continue to crochet the second row. This row will also be crocheted on the right side. Start by working a single crochet into the side of the first single crochet, which is at this top point. Pick up approximately 2 strands to crochet. Then make 3 chains. Skip the first single crochet, and on the second single crochet, work a group. That is, crochet 1 double crochet, 2 chains, and 1 double crochet. Continue by skipping 2 stitches each time, and work a group. The number of groups in the small sample is fewer. After completing, skip 1 stitch, and work double crochets correspondingly. The number of double crochets in the small sample is also fewer. After finishing the corresponding double crochets, work 3DC2 in 1. After completing, continue on this side to work the same number of double crochets. Then skip one stitch. Work the group as usual. After completing the last group, at the beginning of this row on the single crochet, pick up the stitch and work the last double crochet. This way, the second row is completed. For convenience in explanation, we will refer to the area with the top 3DC2 in 1. This area is called the arc section. This part is referred to as the strip section. Continue with the third row. This row is crocheted on the wrong side. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work. Work 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Then, in each groups 2 double crochets. And in the middle chain space, work 1 single crochet in each. That means 3 single crochets for each group. After completing, on this section of double crochets, work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Continue all the way down the strip section. In other words, crochet the same number of single crochets, as there are double crochets in this section. Once completed, you'll reach the arc section. First, on the adjacent stitch on the left side, make a SC2 in 1. That means in the same stitch, work 2 single crochets. 1, 2. SC2 in 1 completed. On the adjacent stitch on the left side, work 1 single crochet. Continue alternating between a SC2 in 1 and 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches on the left side. This means completing the arc section. After completion, this side's crocheting method should be symmetrical to the previous side. That is, work single crochets correspondingly into each double crochet. Also, work 1 single crochet into each chain space. Don't forget to work the final single crochet into the turning chain. This way, we have completed the explanation for row 3. For convenience in explanation, we will refer to row 2 as the double crochet row, and row 3 as the single crochet row. Continue alternating between double crochet rows and single crochet rows. Always start a double crochet row with 3 chains. Then turn your work. Crochet normally in the strip section with groups and double crochets. In the arc section, except for the last row, increase stitches in all other rows. For the single crochet row, start with 1 chain, then turn your work. In the strip section, crochet 1 single crochet into each double crochet and each chain space. In the arc section, also increase stitches. Next, refer to the chart and continue to complete the remaining rows. Don't cut the yarn after completing. Continue to crochet the edging. First, pick up the edge, double crochet. Make 1 slip stitch. Which means bringing the yarn to this gap position. Then chain 3. In the same position, crochet 6 double crochets. After completing, in the gap of this double crochet row on the left side, crochet 1 single crochet. For this half, continue in the gaps of the left side double crochet row, alternately crochet 7 double crochets and 1 single crochet. Everyone follows this method all the way down to the middle, to the first double crochet row on the right side of the turning chain. After completing, at the starting position, pick this single crochet, crochet 1 single crochet, then starting from this double crochet row on the left side, continue to alternately crochet 7 double crochets and 1 single crochet, keep going until the last double crochet row. After completing, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. Once a piece is finished, follow the same method to crochet another identical piece. After both pieces are completed, sew a patch onto one of the pieces. Note, this patch needs to have the part above the large flower in the middle trimmed off. Then use sewing thread to sew it onto the right side of the piece, with the edging facing up. Position the patch slightly lower on the piece. The edge should be 2-3 rows away from the edge of the piece. The exact position can also be adjusted according to your preference. The sewing method is the same as for the patch on the front piece. For the sample, we will not sew it. After the patch is sewn on, sew together the last row of the 2 pieces. At the same time, sew on the bead edging. Before sewing, remove a few beads from one end of the bead edging. Leave out 1-2 centimeters of the tape. Then place the 2 pieces with right sides facing each other, wrong sides out. Overlap the edges of the 2 pieces. And use thread in a different color to temporarily secure a few points. Do not sew the edging. Pay attention, the beads should face inward. If you have stitch markers, you can use stitch markers to temporarily secure. Next, thread a sewing needle with sewing thread. Combine 2 ends of the thread together and use them as one strand. Then refer to the previous steps to handle the beginning. After handling it, start sewing. Each time, pick up the pieces to sew roughly at the same time. Just sew through the edge stitches. As you approach the ending position, leave a little more and cut it off. And remove any extra beads. Fold the tape over and sew it at the same time. This way, the piece and bead, edging are sewn together at once. Next, let's learn about the drawstring. First, refer to the demonstration of the drawstring on the sleeve. Crochet 2 drawstrings of the same length. Refer to the chart for the length. Also, make 4 identical flowers. Note: 2 of the flowers need to leave a long yarn tail, while the other 2 do not. After completing all, thread 1 drawstring through the holes between these 2 columns of groups. Starting from the hole at one edge, come out on the left side. Insert. Skip 1 hole. Draw through. Skip 1 hole. Insert. Come out on the left side. For this half, each time skip 1 hole and draw through. When you reach the position of the other piece, exit the first hole. Insert on the left side. Draw through. Continue to skip 1 hole. Insert. Draw through. Insert into the first hole on this half. Skip 1 hole. Draw through. Insert. Draw through. The specific way of threading can also be determined according to your preference. After threading, slightly adjust it to align both ends roughly. Then, start threading from the other side with the other drawstring. Insert into the first hole. Skip one hole and draw through. Then follow the same path as the first one. When you reach the other end, draw through the adjacent hole on the left side. Insert. Exit from the first hole on this side. Skip one hole and insert. Continue with the same path as the first one. For the ending, insert on the left side. And draw through. This way, both drawstrings are threaded properly. Next, referring to the drawstring on the sleeve, sew the ends separately, with flowers and beads. Once the drawstring is completed, continue learning how to make the strap. Take out the same color yarn as the bag piece. Leave about 20 centimeters of yarn tail at the beginning. Start with one chain. Then make another chain. Then, on the first chain, pick up the top loop and make one single crochet. After completing, turn your work clockwise. You will see two vertical lines side by side below. Pick up these two lines and make one single crochet. After completing, continue to turn your work clockwise. On the left side, there are two lines side by side. Pick up these two lines and make one single crochet. Continue to turn your work clockwise. Pick up the two lines side by side and make one single crochet. Next, each time, first turn your work, then pick up the two lines side by side, make single crochets. Continue crocheting following this method. Keep going until you reach the desired length. After completing, leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters, then fasten off normally. Use the reserved long yarn tail to sew it onto both sides of the bag. Attach it on the same side as the bead edging. When sewing, sew about 1 to 2 centimeters. There's no specific method required, just make sure it's secure. Do the same for the other side, and sew it up securely. Up to this point, we have covered everything about this dress. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.